All right. Annunciation, Latin class, capitulum tridecim, annus et mensis, pars secunda. Although we may roll back to pars prima because it's been a while, but we'll see how that goes. Oratio initialis, in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen. Okay, I thought since we had an unwelcomed guest called Beryl, or Burl, depending upon how you want to pronounce that name, uh, we'd learn a few weather words and then something also totally different. The reading from, well, let's see, this would have been, I think, the week before the hurricane. You have most of the words in there, so I have that, and then we'll continue on with the calendarium and the chapter 13. So with tempestas, tempestatus. That's the general term that Latin uses for the weather. But they generally used it most of the time for bad weather. And in English, we have the word tempest. But you can still use tempestas as the general word for weather. They had a word called typhon, typhonus, which was a violent whirlwind or typhoon. Ancient Romans did not have a word for hurricane since they lived on the Mediterranean, and the Mediterranean really doesn't, it has bad storms, but it doesn't have really hurricanes. So there's a more modern term, hurricanum, or which is a neuter noun, vel typhon marinus, or maritime typhoon, if you wish. Now we do use the word in English, typhoon, to refer to hurricanes in the Pacific. But the original word typhon, which actually came from the Greek, if I'm not mistaken, just meant a violent storm, violent whirlwind. And if you read down here in the Latin Wikipedia, typhon marinus sive hurricanum est tempestas marina cuius venti circummagnentes magnas pluvias cohibentes 13 meters per second excedunt. Anybody want to take a crack at that? I know there's a number of words in there that you don't know, but you should be able to make a pretty good guess. Don't all volunteer at once.
I was trying, but my cursor went on the right place. It's a storm that's basically it's there. Maybe can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Um, Marina. Okay, so it's a storm over water whose winds circumnavigate a big. Now, pluvias, I'm assuming that is the center.
Nope. Rain.
No,
Pluvia.
rain. Okay, but it has a lot of rain and it exceeds 118 miles an hour.
Right. Yeah. Typhon marinus, or maritime typhoon, whirlwind, or hurricane, hurricanum.
Oh,
It
Sive
bas-
is
is,
four.
yeah, sive. Yeah. Well, that's right. You guys haven't had that yet. You've had and et. Well, you've had vel and ot. You haven't had sive. Yeah, that's another version of the word or. Tempestas marina, a maritime storm, whose winds circummagnates, which circulate, okay, spin around, um, cohibentes mañas pluvias, including big rains, and they exceed, or with big rain, and they exceed 118 kilometers an hour, or 70 miles an hour, really. Antiquitate homines verbo cata aegis utebantur ad tempestas potentes in mare Mediterraneo appellendas. Okay. Antiquitate homines. So
Ancient men.
ancient men. Verbo catagus utebantur used the word catagus for powerful storms in the Mediterranean. But those storms, which we call typhoons today, they never had hurricanes as we have them today because the Mediterranean is not really big enough. So,
And it's usually cold water.
water?
It's taking, yeah, the water is coming down from the north on that side of the ocean. So they don't have the heat sink that we've got crossing the
Well, the
Atlantic from
Mediterranean,
Africa.
yeah, the Mediterranean is its own body of water, essentially. I mean, it does empty into the Atlantic, but it's, where you have Gibraltar there, you could, it's pretty narrow. So yeah, but you're right. They don't have the big heat sink like we do. So, and now for some more words. Nubis. We actually had that when we had the wolves and the sheep, if I'm not mistaken. Pluit is actually kind of an interesting word. It comes from pluo, but really it only exists in the third person. You really wouldn't see pluo, meaning I reign, as in R-A-I-N, not R-E-I-G-N. So typically you only see pluit, it is raining, or pluvit, it rained. Imbris is, any guesses?
I'm sorry, I'm writing. What were you talking about?
Imber, any guesses?
Oh, it's up at the top.
Close to
No,
raindrop.
no, I was looking. I was looking to see where it was written down so I could see it.
Imber is more likely a rainstorm or shower. Okay. So the rain, well, we'll get to it. Pluvia is rain, noun, but imbris is the actual rain shower. Okay. Arcus pluvius,
Rainbow.
rainbow. Yes. Fulgur, fulguris.
That's easy. The pictures are right there.
Yeah, I know. If you guys flunk this, man, you're gonna need to. You might want to reconsider your life's choices. Fulgur, lightning. And of course, Saul, we had Saul, Saulus the sun. Like Pluit, there is Ninjit. Now, Ninjit Nempe, meaning it never snows here. Well, almost never. Ninjit is also a one of, oh, I thought, yeah, Ninjit, Nixit, meaning it is snowing, it snowed. Again, third person. And then what snows? Nix, snow. Sol, lucet. Sol non lucet, hodie. The sun was not shining today. Caelum calidum. Caelum frigidum. Caelum calidum. Caelum frigidum. Want to take a stab at that?
It's Texas
Uh,
weather. It's hot and it's cold.
Well, I don't know about the cold.
Well, not yet.
I'm a little confused because it seems like it would be hot sky and cold sky, but that's not like the way anybody talks.
You're right. You're right, Laura. That's not how we would say it. Yeah. Luna plena,
Full moon.
full moon. It's almost full moon. Tempestas, as I said, that's usually weather, but can also mean storm. Caelum nubium.
Is that nubilume?
Caelum. Oh, sorry, nubilum. I
So
swapped.
that would be dark clouds then, or
Well, Caelum is
or is it
sky.
just
That would be
clouds?
a cloudy skies.
Okay, because those clouds look dark, and I didn't know if it was referring specifically to like dark storm clouds or not.
Not necessarily. And then, so if you want to ask what is the weather like, quale est caelum? That's one way of saying it. So I guess the better translation of that is like, what's the weather outside? Literally, that means, oh, quale is quality, or oh, what else do I want to call it? Quale. How constituted, what sort, kind of, what is the nature of? Um, whoops, I mean, we get the word quality, I guess, from that. So um, now in Houston, you can say satine caloris tibi est. Oh, let me add this. Satine, whoop, caloris tibi est. Anybody want to take a shot at that one? You actually haven't had well, yeah, I don't think you've had satine yet. That literally means hot enough for you.
Okay, because calories are a measure of heat, so
Yeah,
that
calor
okay.
is heat, or yeah, or in this case, it's a genitive form. Satine, literally hot. Is it enough of hot for you? Calor, caloris. This is the genitive form. Sat is enough. So it's literally enough, and there's the enclitic ne in there. Literally, it means enough of hot for you. Is it? But you see, caelum calidum, again, calor, calidum, heat, frigidum, cold. So, and as I said, some of these you've already had. Pretty soon we'll get more of them. I think it's chapter 15, if I'm not mistaken. Lecciones. All right. I threw this in just because you guys have had most of the words in here. Okay. Not all of them, most of them. And I've underlined some of the more obvious ones. And as I said, this was the gospel reading in the extraordinary form. I believe it was the Sunday before the hurricane, if I'm not mistaken, whichever Sunday that was. Actually, hold on here. Let me look. That would have been, let's see, the hurricane. When was the hurricane? I should know when the hurricane was. Uh, so is that no, it was more before the 14th Sunday. Oh, well, I'll look it up anyway. Anyway, so anybody want to take a shot at translating it? I'll do the first line. In illo tempore. At that time, tempore, time, illo, at that time. Dixit. Now, you haven't had the Dixit, you haven't had. It's the past tense form of dico or dicit. But Dixit Jesus discipulus suis. At that time, Jesus said to his disciples. All right. Anybody want to try that one?
I'll try it.
Go for it.
Okay. Um, Beware of false prophets who come
Right.
to you in clothing of sheep,
Right.
intrinsecos. However, they are ravenous wolves. By their fruits you will know them.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't
We
know intrinsecos though. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we've had okay, prophetus. You better be able to guess that one. Falsus, you better be able to get that one. But we did have veniunt ad vos in vestimentus ovium. So hey, sheep's clothing, you know. Alta, but however, they are lupi. We had lupus, lupi, wolves. Rapaces is
Rapacious.
rapacious, devouring, you know, stuff like that. Fructibus, fructus ventris tui Jesus. So fructibus, yeah, their fruits, you will know them by their fruits. All right. They see she took the easy one.
Wait, sorry, can you say again what intrinsecus is?
Prince secus. Oh, all right. Intrinse. Yeah, there we go. On the inside, inwardly. So intrinsic.
I see. Okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So yeah, they come to you in sheep's clothing. However, inside they are rapacious wolves. So, whoop. Actually, I've dropped that down there. Hold on. Let me put this, rearrange my windows. There. All right, I'll do this first part. This one's a little tougher. Numquid coligunt de spinas uvas aut de tribulis ficus.
Is uvas grapes?
Grapes, yes.
And ficus is
Coligunt,
figs.
yeah. No one, coligunt, collects grapes from spines.
Where would that reference come from? That I mean, that wouldn't even cross my mind to say grapes from spines.
Well, okay. Spinus is thorns. Thorns, sorry. You don't get grapes from a thorn tree.
Okay, so a thorn tree like a briar, a bramble, or something. Okay, that makes a little more sense to me now. I was staring at it and couldn't make it work in my head.
Yeah, here. Let me pop up. Here we go. Spinis. See, thorn or thorn plant or shrub or a prickly plant of some sort. Not like a cactus though, but
But like a bramble bush.
bramble bush, yeah.
Okay.
Or what's the other one? Gorse bush? Is that the other name for one of those, I think? Anyway. Or from, or figs from, now that one you don't know either. All right, hold on. I got to get rid of the macrons. That's unfortunate. One of the same tribe, meaning you don't get it figs from a from the sort of from the same sort of plant. All right, let's try this one. Sic omnis arbor bona. Now this one you should know. Fructus bonus.
But all good trees bear good fruit,
Yes,
basically.
but all good trees bear good fruit. Or facet, yeah. Mala autem arbor malus fructus facet.
Bad trees make bad fruit.
Yep. Or bad, yes. Non potest arbor bona malus fructus facere. Non potest arbor bona malus fructus facere.
Good trees are not able to make bad fruit.
Correct. Neque arbor mala bonus fructus facere.
Nor can bad trees make good fruit.
Yep. Omnis arbor qua non facet fructum bonum et cidetur et in ignum mitetur. Now you don't have the excidetur. No, do you? Well, you mitetur is I think yeah we have mito to send, but in this case it's passive voice. In fact, both of those are passive voice verbs. So that means that those the verbs are acting on that subject. Omnis arbor qua non facet fructum bonum. Any takers? Laura, how about you?
Just that one clause, the part you highlighted.
Well, we'll go all the way to here. Well, I'll tell you what,
I don't know all these words.
we'll go all the way to the end, and if you get stuck on a word, I'll tell you. But you should be
Okay.
able to figure this one out.
Okay. Every tree that does not bear good fruit, something and will be and is something in the fire.
So, what do you think something and something is?
Um, is Mitator like is put in the fire?
Yeah, mito,
I yeah,
mitic,
I'm not sure about extridator. Is cut off?
cut off, cut down,
Okay.
slain, even. But yeah, we would say cut down, and
Okay.
it's
I
put into the fire. Okay.
yeah.
Igitur ex fructibus eorum cognoscetus eius. You don't need a whole lot of Latin to know what that says. Well, if you've
The EG tour is the one thing I'm stuck on.
therefore,
Oh, okay. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them.
yes, exactly. All right, we got one last one. This one you have almost all of the words. Any takers?
Well, I could do it, but I just did a whole bunch.
Well, go for extra credit.
Alrighty. Not all that call me Lord, Lord will enter into the kingdom of heaven, but the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven will enter into the kingdom of heaven.
He himself will enter into the kingdom.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father who is in heaven, he himself will enter into the kingdom of heaven. So the point, anyway, the point with, I realize this was difficult because there's still a lot you don't know, but the point was not so much to show you what you don't know as it was to show you what you do know. And so if you have any sort of familiarity with this particular gospel reading, you actually, in English, that is, you should actually be able to follow along reasonably well. I mean, obviously, there are words in here like igitur, you didn't know what that was, exceditur. But anyway, the point is you're getting closer, okay? So, all right, let's see, what was the last one? Oh, calendarium. Oh, yes, okay. Now we're back to chapter 3. Deus diem lune creavit ut hominum punire. That is theologically inaccurate, but I think we can all sort of relate to it. Any idea what it says, Teresa? I picked on Laura enough.
My head's feeling weird. I'm having a.
All right, Francis, would you like to take a crack at it? Deus. Well, actually, let me go over here first for a moment, and it'll help. Hebdomada or hebdomade, which this is usually the Vulgate word. You may also see hebdomadas and hebdomadadis. That's a different form, but that is the week. Hebdomada, septem diem, habet. Ooh, wait. So there. Septem dies, habet. Better make it plural. Dies hebdomade appellatur. So close. We'll get back to the poor polar bear there in a minute. That is a polar bear, by the way, if you didn't recognize it. So the 7 days of the week, if dies ecclesiastica, oh, you can't, oh, sorry, hold on. Let me push this back up. There, is that better?
Yeah, that's a little bit better. Thank you.
All right, if I drag a window away, it tries to fit everything in. Anyway, so, okay, hold on. That should be there. Since dies, there we go, is feminine plural. Dominica is Sunday. Now, the secular days, or the profane words, and profane, well, it's in modern English, profane means you're swearing. That's not really what the word profane means. Historically, you could divide things into two classes: sacred, those things that were dedicated to God, and then profane, those things that were in common use. And so, for example, if you had a crucifix or have a crucifix, that would be considered a sacred item, and then you would put that in a place appropriate to that religious article. You would not, for example, use it as a screwdriver or a hammer or as a common tool. Am I making sense here?
Yes.
Okay. So when I say profane, I really mean we might say in the vernacular. And this actually goes way back. I didn't realize how far back it went. I think it was all the way back to the 2nd century, if I'm not mistaken. But if you're reading ecclesiastical stuff, then Dominica vel dies solus. Quid est dies solus? Anglice. What is dies solus in English? Die?
Sunday.
Day, yeah, solus, day of the sun. The rest of the days of the week are numbered: feria secunda, feria tertia, feria quarta, feria quinta, feria sexta. Hodie feria quinta est.
I was just about to ask on my traditional calendars, I see feria days.
Yes.
Okay, so feria just means it's not a sacred day.
Feria. Ooh,
I think it's just a weekday that doesn't have a special feast on it.
yeah, it really means celebration.
Okay, so I see it, I think feral, and that's been driving me nuts.
No, nothing. No,
Like
feral.
a wild day, you know?
Different thing. Different thing. No, the feria. Okay. In the ancient Rome, they had days of feria that were special days set aside for things. Okay. So in your ecclesiastical book, as Laura said, it is merely a day that you celebrate Mass that does not have a particular feast associated with it. So, and it's kind of indirectly come to mean Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, even though even if what's today is the feast of Saint James. Was that today or yesterday?
Yes, today.
Uh,
Yep, it's today.
hey, yeah, today is the feast of Saint James. Okay, the Greater.
Well, I mean, we have so many saints, it's hard to find a day that you're
Uh,
not celebrating something,
well,
right?
next or tomorrow is one of my favorite saints, Saint Anne. So, so you would still see, Feria Sexta. Let's do Saint Anne, and then you would see the memorial to Saint Anne, or in the case of the extraordinary form, then the class of the celebration, first, second, third, duplex, and all that other fun stuff. But in the vernacular, Feria Secunda, Dies Lunae, Monday, Moon Day. Okay.
So in Rome, would they use these titles for the days of the week interchangeably? Like Feria
No,
Secunda versus
well,
or did they only use one set of them, or was there like different connotations with each
oh
set of
boy.
names?
The reason the church uses these is these are named after Roman gods, which,
Uh-huh.
in the second century were not real popular. Well, even the first century were not real popular in the church. So they went off and named their own. Now, the other tricky part is I'd have to go back and look, but the Romans, at least in in the late Republic, did not have a 7-day week. The 7-day week really came into being through the influence of Christianity and Judaism, and also the fact that there were 7 planets, as they referred to them. And so that evolved over time. And so in the first century, which is like when the Familia Romana occurs, they would have referred to it as, well, we'll get into in the second chapter when you hear about the Idus, the Ides, and the Calends, and all the other special days. So, but by the time the Romans did have a 7-day week, and I'm talking about the pagan Romans, then this is what they would use these names. These names were really born over here. Were born of the church, because they really didn't want to. They really didn't want to honor the Roman gods. So yes, pagans would use these. Um, Ecclesiastics would use these. Make sense?
Thank you for explaining that.
Yes, thank you.
So with that, let's jump over to the actual texts. And let's see here. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, we're on the second section here. And I will zoom in. Whoa, well, should be able to see that well enough. Oh, wow, that's a long first paragraph. All right, I'll take it. Why not? Nocte sol non lucet, sed luna et stelle lucent. And stop me, I'm not going to translate it, but if you get stuck, stop me and we'll talk about what it means, okay? I want you to listen to the Latin, read the Latin, and internalize what the Latin meant. Hopefully without having to do mental translation, but if you got to do mental translation, well, then, do it. Nocte sol non lucet, sed luna et stelle lucent. Luna ipsa suam lucem non habet. Lux lunae a sole venit. The light of the moon comes from the sun. Itaque luna non tam clara est quam sol. And so the moon is not as bright as the sun. Sol est stella clarissima, quae luce sua et terram et lunam illustrat. Everybody following so far?
Yep.
Nequa tota luna sole illustratur. Nequa tota luna sole illustratur. Sed tantum ea pars quae vertitur ad solum. Neither is the whole moon illuminated by the sun, but only that part which is turned towards the sun. By the way, as a side comment, you'll hear people refer to the dark side of the moon. I don't know what they mean by that, because half the moon is always in sun and the other half is in
It's so crazy. They mean the back of
They
the
mean the
moon,
backside, yes.
but they don't know what they're
Unless,
talking
of course, they're referring to a crater that's in the shadow on the dark side of the moon, which they could be, to be fair. But so if somebody says the dark side of the moon, ask them which side are they talking about. Cetera pars obscura est. So that part which is turned towards the sun, the other part is obscured or dark or hard to see. Cum exigua, ooh, I like that word. Cum exigua pars lunae tantum videtur, luna nova esse dicitur. Anybody want to take a stab? Oh, I can't highlight that. How annoying. Anybody want to take a stab at what exigua means? I don't think that, do they have it in here? Oh, here we go. Exiguus parvus. Yeah, exigua. Okay, we have parvus, which means little, or yeah, little. Exigua really would probably be best described as parvus parvus, meaning a very small amount, a minute amount, a minuscule amount, minuscule, yeah, that'd be the best word, minuscule amount. So when a minuscule amount of the moon is seen, luna nova esse dicitur.
So why don't they just use the ending, which means very, very, very small?
Because they're teaching you new words.
Oh, sigh. Okay.
Yes, I mean, we could certainly, you're right, we could, let's see, I think parvus, I think I think it's let's see, parvus doesn't have, I'm thinking of the comparative form. Parvus, I'm pretty sure the comparative form, oh, come on now. Oh, I'm sorry, minimus. Excuse me, it's minimus. The diminutive, yeah,
It's a diminutive for almost everything.
yeah, it's not the superlative, it's actually the diminutive of. So anyway, exigua, pars lunae, and then die septimo vel octovo, sorry, post lunam novum luna dimidia videtur. Die septimo vel octova post lunam novum luna dimidia videtur. Dimidia literally means half. So 7 to 8 days after the new moon, the half moon is seen. Quae formam habet litere de. Yeah, it looks like a D. Die quinto decimo post lunam novum luna plena est, et formam habet litera O. Luna plena. Looks like an O. Cum luna non lucet, nox obscura est. When the moon is not shining, the night is very, well, we get the word obscure. In this sense, obscure means hard to see. We would say dark, but obscure means hard to see, hard to see. Any questions?
So would they call it a luna nova even
Oh,
if it
definitely.
whether the no, whether it was completely dark or whether there was a crescent moon, would that also be a luna nova?
Traditionally, the new moon started on the first day they could see the barest part of the moon at sunrise.
Oh, okay, so it's like not quite the same
So
as what
it's
we would call a
not,
new moon.
yeah. The reason is, okay, if the moon is totally dark, then it is on the front side of the Earth. And if it's between the Earth and the moon, then it's called a solar eclipse. It would have been very difficult to see the moon in that bright daylight when the dark side is facing us. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was typically when you saw that barest sliver, it would be declared a new moon. Now, today on our calendars, we refer to the new moon when it really is 100% dark. Um, um, but ancient peoples tended to be, they had a very good sense of what was in the sky because they didn't have electric lights. And a lot of what was in the sky regulated, what they did. That's how we got the months, is from the moon itself. So they would look up and say, "Oh, okay, new moon, new month, turn the calendar over." So, all right, now here's the calendarium. This is the fun one. Would anybody like to take, darn, how come I can't highlight this? Anyway, this paragraph here. Sorry, I can't highlight it for some reason or other. Any volunteers?
Um, the first 10 months.
No.
No.
Well, hold on. Let's start here. No, not in English.
Oh,
Read it in Latin. Then we'll figure out.
dies mensis primus calendae nominator.
And what does that mean?
Dies, the first 10 months of the calendar, but I don't know what nominator.
Dies mensis primus. The first day of the month.
Oh, day, not 10 months.
Not 10
Sorry.
months. No,
I have the
death
same
penalty.
problem in Spanish. Well, actually, I tend to count 1 through 9, and then God is 10. So
No, dies.
okay. Day. Yeah.
Dies.
The first day of the month is named the calends.
Yeah, the calends. Yeah, calendar. Yeah.
Okay.
Next sentence.
Whoop, I gotta wait for it to pop up on my phone. Dies primus mensis Januarie dicitur calendae Januarie.
Yep. Just stop right there. Yeah.
Okay.
The first day of the month of January.
January
the
is called
January. Yeah.
Collins. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The first day of every month, they referred to it as the calendar. And it's plural, which is kind of curious, but hey, that's, I wasn't around for them to consult me on how to invent their calendar, but hey, So yeah, and you're gonna okay. And the first day of every month is referred to Calendae. All right, continue. Is dies.
Dies anni primus est atque initium anni novi. So this is the first day of the year.
Yeah.
Is anni novi, so it means
Yes,
the
this is the
beginning of the
first day
year.
of the year and the beginning of the new year.
New year. Yeah.
So
Okay.
Calendae Januariae is the new year, or we would call it New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Now, some people might call it the Feast of the Circumcision or the Feast of Mary, Mother of God, but we also call it the New Year. Okay. Okay. Die primo from here. Sorry, I can't highlight it for some reason.
That's plural.
Yeah.
No,
Die primo mensis Julii.
first day of the month of July.
Uh-huh.
We call the calends of July.
Well, close. Nomen est. Now, this is not plural. This is actually
Oh,
this is the dative possessive. So
sorry.
nomen est, well, I'm sorry. That is sorry.
It's called.
Sorry, it is genitive. No, it isn't. It's dative. Nomen est, the name of the first day of the month of July is called
The calends of July.
I'm slaughtering it. The calends of July is the name of the first day of the month of July.
Okay.
Is est dies anni medius. Is est dies anni medius. This is the
Middle of the year.
Middle of the year.
It's the middle of the year. Yep. We're past we're past halfway through the year. So, and I think the hurricane added extra time there as well. All right, who wants to do the next section? Oh, actually, that's a long section. Oh well, yeah. Actually, this one's pretty easy to do.
I can give it a shot, but my headache is trying to wind up on me here.
Okay.
So may need help. See, dies tertius decimus post calendas idus nominator.
Mhm.
So the 10th day.
Tertius
No, I'm sorry. Third.
Right.
Dies tertius. Is that the 13th day?
13th day.
13th day after calendas is called Ides. Idus.
Idus.
We call it the Ides. Okay.
Yeah, in English, Ides.
Yeah. Idus Januariae dies tertius decimus est post calendas I can't get my tongue wrapped around my teeth right. Januarius.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. So 13th day.
Mhm.
I'm trying to focus. Okay, so the Ides of January, the 13th day after calendas, basically what we just said.
Yeah, it's the 13th day after calends.
Yeah. Item idus Februariae dicitur dies tertius decimus mensis Februariae.
Mm-hmm.
Item. Help me on the item.
Also.
Okay, that's what I
Or
thought.
likewise might be a better. Here, let me pop up the scriva for a moment. There's a couple. It is a adjective implying just so, like manner, likewise, same manner, and also. Can you read that?
Okay.
It's kind of tight here. I can, if you can't read it, I will think I can do this.
I got the gist of it.
And paste. There we go. I can paste it into there. Okay. Continue.
Got it. Okay. So, what's crap? Where was I?
Virus February
Oh, down here. Okay.
So
likewise, Ides of February are called, well, okay, the Dies Tertius Decim. So the 13th day of February is likewise called the Ides of February.
Right.
For the month of February. Sed idus Martiae dies es quintus decimus mensis Martii.
Right.
Is it Martii?
Martii.
Martii.
Short I, long. Martii. Short I,
Martii.
long I. Yeah.
Now mense Martio. Idem meo. It's one of those nights. Item Maio, Iulio, Octobri.
Yeah.
Idus non dies tertius decimus, sed quintus decimus post calendas est.
Okay.
Okay, that's a long sentence.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so, this is but the Ides of March, dies est quintus decimus. Oh, they're saying, okay, so in the month of March, it's the 15th day, not the 13th day.
Right.
Okay. And I'm going to say Martio. Likewise, it would be May, July, and October.
Right.
So the Ides are not on the 13th day, but on the 15th day after Calendas.
Right. So
I surprised myself.
Yeah. So, for if you go back to Shakespeare and, beware the Ides of March, that was on the 15th of March. And everybody is now you'll find people who assume, oh, well, all the days of the month are, all the Ides are on the 15th. Well, that's not true. That's only true for March, May, July, and October. We'll shortly see that on the other days, it's all on the 13th.
And it has to do because those months are longer.
Yeah. And originally, I mentioned this, I think it was the previous session, but since that was almost 4 weeks ago, I'll mention again. Originally, the months, originally, there are only 10 months in the year. They were, and it started in March with the spring equinox, the vernal equinox. So March was the first month. And that's, by the way, and you're about to read this. In fact, I'm going to well, I'll tell you what, I'll come to that in a minute. Since you're about to read why they're called September, October, November, and December. But anyway, they had this long period of during the winter where it really wasn't anything. And eventually they added in January and February to make 12 months, and the start of the year was in January. And their calendar was lunar based. So from new moon to new moon is 29 and a half days, roughly. So some of the months had 29 days, some of the months had 30 days, Now, the reason we have the rather odd February, which has 28, which they stole 2 days from, is because of July and August. July, Julius. Anybody want to make a wild guess who that's named after?
Some guy I think used to live in Rome or something.
Yeah.
Julius
Oh,
Caesar.
I know. Augustus Caesar.
Yeah, Julius Caesar.
Oh.
Julius. July is Julius. Now, along comes Augustus, Caesar Augustus, and hey, man, he's got to have his month. So it became Augustus. And he wasn't going to have a month shorter than what Julius Caesar had. So he had 31 days. So they had to steal a few days from those months. And poor February got the short end of the deal.
I was wondering how that happened.
Yeah. And so typically the
nobody cares because they wanted winter to be shorter anyway.
Don't they wish? Originally, and by the way, the Ides were typically in the middle of the month. So if you were 29 days, half of 29 is well, it's not an even number, so that's like 14. So the Ides was the 13th. And then if it was 30 days, then the 15th was a nice place to have the Ides. So it was a very nice system until Julius Caesar and Caesar Augustus messed it all up. So we'll blame it all on that.
I have a question. Since
Sure.
they picked the 13th, did they have any like superstitions like we have about the 13th day of the month, number 13, or not?
Oh, there were lucky days and unlucky days of the month. I have to go back and reread all that. The Romans, while none of
They
the
were very
they
superstitious.
yeah, they were super superstitious. I guess we should say superstitious, right? Yeah. Now, how much somebody like Julius Caesar actually believed in the gods or not, it's hard to know. See, well, okay, one thing that was a big difference. The pagan gods, okay, big difference between Christianity and for that matter, Judaism as well, is the first commandment. We are to love God. Well, not the first commandment, but anyway, we're to love God with our whole heart and soul. Okay. God is love. The pagan gods, they weren't like that. One did not love Jupiter or Saturn or Athena or whoever. What you did is you wanted to make sure you were on the God's good side so that things would go well for you. And that's one of the reasons why the early Christians were persecuted, is because they would not honor the Roman gods. And the Romans were very concerned that this was an offense to the gods that were protecting Rome. So in some sense, the
Guilt
Christian,
by association kind of thing?
well, no, they were like terrorists. They're trying to bring down Rome because they don't honor our gods. Now, curiously, the Jews were always exempt. I think they sort of gave up on them centuries before Christianity was on.
Well, almost exempt until you got to Vespasian and
Well, yeah.
Trajan.
Well, now and that was a different reason though. That had more to do with the riots in Jerusalem than anything else. And
No, a lot of it had to do with Caligula wanting to import statues and insisted they went
oh
in
yeah, that's
every
right. I forgot
temple and
about that in the
synagogue.
temple. Yeah, in the temple. I forgot about that. Yeah, thank you. That's right. He did do
Now,
that.
wasn't that also a reason for the Sanhedrin to be so upset with Jesus because they were kind of treading on a tightrope with Rome already by being allowed to continue their own form of worship instead of using the Roman gods. And when Jesus came along and started upsetting the apple cart a bit, they were afraid that that would be what would tip them over, and the Romans would become,
I
crack down on them.
I don't think that was ever um I don't think that was ever an issue with them that way. They saw Jesus as disruptive, but not particularly disruptive with.
I think it clearly was, and the Sanhedrin used it against him by
Well,
telling
yeah,
Pilate
yeah,
that,
they did, but what I think that was an excuse more than they wanted to get rid of him, right? So they said, "Oh well, hey, he's going to cause trouble with."
But wasn't there something said about one man should be given or should suffer so that the rest of us can
Yes,
continue on or something?
yes,
So that's where I'm getting that from.
yeah, no, and so you got to ask yourself, was that the reason or the excuse? See what I mean?
Yeah, Jesus kind of upset him because if the people weren't going to follow all of their little multitudes of rules anymore, then they would lose their control.
Yeah. So,
Much like certain, I'll leave politics alone.
yeah, don't start. Please don't start. Politicians really haven't changed much over the millennia. I hate to say it. So, anyway,
Well, I have a saying: people are people, no matter where or when you go.
I would agree. All right, let's move on
Okay.
because I do want to get through Okay, let me zoom out just a little since that's split. All right. There we go. All right, continue. Dies nonus.
Dies nonus ante. Oh, okay, I'm not muted. Dies nonus ante idus dicitur nonne Januarie, dies quintus Januari. Oh, that's not a T. Okay. Januari. Januari.
Januari. Yeah.
Yeah. Nonne Februari. Dies quintus Februarii. Nonne Martiae. Dies septimus Martii, etc. Okay.
Yeah. Now, what nonne, nonus, where does that come from?
9.
9, yes. Now, nones is not the 9th of February or January or any other month for that. The Romans liked to count down. So they had countdowns long before NASA came on the scene. So the 9 is 9 days before the Ides. So since the 13th, the January 13th is the Ides, then 9 days before that is the 5th. Now you might say 9 minus 5 is, or sorry, 9 minus 13 is not 5. And that's because they counted inclusively. So so on the months where the Ides are on the 13th, then nones is on the 5th. Whereas for the longer months, or where the Ides are on the 15th, then the nones are on the 7th.
That makes sense, but it sounds like a very confusing way of running a calendar.
Not it may seem that way because of the our we're much more locked into our calendar in modern society these days.
We also are used to dealing in base 10. So we don't do a lot of subtraction because we have a method of arithmetic that's a lot easier to use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, for adding and subtracting, Roman numerals were actually quite easy. Where the death was, where the real sticking part was multiplication, that was bad. And then division was absolutely impossible in Roman numerals. I still don't, they had a way of doing it, and I've read it a couple times, and I still don't understand it. It's like, huh, okay. But yeah, they like to count down. And you know, you think about it, we do that too. Well, I guess no, we go first Sunday of Advent, second. Yeah, I guess we always count up. Yeah. Well, what can I say? All right. Anyway, continue here because it's yeah. Let's see. We're going to get to where's the end of chapter 2 here? We may not make it. That's all right. But I want to get through. I want to get through this part. Who would like to take the next paragraph? How about you, Laura? You're too quiet.
Sure. I can't, sorry, which paragraph?
Dies.
Oh, okay. I'm just reading it.
Yep.
Okay.
And if, by the way, I'll stop along the way. If anybody has any questions on what a word means or what the phrase means, by all means, stop me and ask me. All right. So go ahead.
Okay. Dies octavus ante calendas Januarias, qui dicitur ante diem octavum calendas Januarias, est dies anni brevissimus.
Okay,
Ante diem.
stop there for a moment.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. What does that mean? And the reason I'm asking that is you may know what it means in Latin, but I really want you to know, I really want you to understand what it means. Give it a shot. Dies octavus ante calendas Januarius. When is the calends of January?
Oh, I got it. I got it.
Go for it.
Yeah, the day 8 days the day 8 days before the first day of January, which is called ante diem octavum calendas Januarias, is the shortest day of the year.
Yes. And what day is that?
Um, well, this doesn't quite check out. It would be December 20 yeah, December 24th. Yeah, December 24th is what that would be. And I know it's like trying to talk about winter solstice, but the math doesn't quite work.
It should be the 21st. Let's see here. So we have December. Oh dear. Let's see. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, December. Let's see here. Yeah, that's right. 9 from, let's see, they said 8 from 31.
Oh, so no, it's the 23rd. It's 23rd.
23rd. You're right. That doesn't
Yeah, it's
work.
close, but no cigar. Yeah.
Dies octavos ante calendas vidicitur ante diem est dies anni beneficimus. Well, they're close. It should be the 21st. But anyway, go ahead. Proceed onward.
Okay. Ante diem octavum calendas Julias dies anni longissimus est. Ante diem octavum calendas Aprilis, id est die octavo ante calendas Aprilis, nox atque dies equi sunt. Is dies equinoctium dicitur, item ante diem octavum calendas Octobris equinoctium dicitur, nam eo quoque die nox equa est atque dies.
Yes. Equinoxium. Boy, is that a mouthful. All right.
Yeah.
Actually, I figured out what they were talking about. This is written in the 1st century, right? Or the time period is the 1st century.
Yeah, I was kind of a question if they listed the winter solstice, if it had to do with the fact that they were
off
in a previous calendar form.
Well, what happened was when Julius Caesar set the calendar, the winter solstice and summer solstice was on the 25th.
There's no I in there. It's solstice.
Sorry, solstice. Yeah, I do that all the time. Solstice. And that was done several centuries before the date of Christmas and some of the other things were actually finalized in the West. And if you recall, if you recall, in the 1500s, Pope Gregory reformed the calendar and dropped 13 days, I think it was, or 11 days, 11 days from the calendar in order to resynchronize the calendar with the sun and the moon. And Julius Caesar, what he did is he said every 4th year is a leap year. Well, our current calendar says every 4th year is a leap year, except during centuries, in which case it needs to be divisible by 400, not just 4. So 2000 was a leap year, 1900 was not, 1800 was not, 1700 was not, but 1600 was. And so what had happened is between the time of Julius Caesar establishing the calendar and the date for Christmas was finalized, there had been those 4 leap years, because there were 4 centuries, that should not have been there. So his statement is actually correct, that in the time of when this occurred, the 24th or 25th, depending upon how you count it, was indeed the time of the solstices. If I become king, I'm going to order an I put in there. solstices. And so actually this is correct. And equinoctium. Equinoctium, for which we have the equinox. What does that mean? Equinoctium.
Equal days and nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's when the days start getting shorter or longer.
Well, yeah, but the equinoxium is the day when the night is equal. Equal, noxium, night, day of equal nights. All right. All right. So, all right. How about the next section? You want to give it a shot, Jen? Let Teresa's headache settle down. Tempora.
Assuming I can. All right, where are we? You have to wave your thing.
Tempora. I know. I don't know
Okay.
why I can't find it.
Tempora. Well, I'm on a phone,
I
so it's
know.
very
No, I know. I'm annoyed. I can't highlight it for you.
tempora anni sunt quattuor. Estas et hiems
Yep.
vera et autumnus.
Okay.
Let's see the time. The anni is not, that's not plural, is it?
Yes. Well, it's genitive, actually, the year.
The
Mores o tempores.
all I can say is the time of the year is
Yeah. Or the
know
seasons, if you wish.
oh, there are 4 seasons.
Yes.
Estas, I don't know what estas or hymns is. And it's not vir, it's ver.
Fair. Estas is summer.
Yeah,
Estas et hiems.
I don't know what any of the rest of the words mean except et.
Fair enough. Estas, see, estas hiems, summer and winter.
Okay.
Estas is summer, hiems
Hymns is winter.
Ver for vernal.
Oh, it's
Autumnus. Spring and fall.
ver is spring.
Yeah.
Oh,
As in the vernal equinox. Why do they call
Yeah.
it vernal, ver?
Yeah, sorry, it doesn't say that on the left with the picture of the tree.
No, it doesn't. See, it has autumnus, and it's showing a tree shedding its leaves.
Yeah.
So, okay, press on. Estas.
Estes est tempus ab mense junio ad augustum, jams a mense decembri ad februarium. Menses, oh well, let's see, that's the next sentence. So,
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I've lost track of what Estes is. It doesn't say, so I can't
Summer.
use,
Summer.
sorry, I can't use the Latin to define what the words mean. I don't understand it. So summer is is June, from between June and August.
Yep. Obviously, they're not around from here, but you know.
And then winter, yeah, summer is like January to November.
I'd say March, September.
Okay. Winter, between December and February. Now, what does mense mean actually?
From the month.
Yeah, from the month. Oh, month. Okay. It is from the month of December to February, through February. So mensis junius initium estatis. Yes. December initium hemus est. The month of June begins the summer. December begins the winter.
Mhm.
Okay. Tempus Martio ad meam ver dicitur mense septembri ad novembrum autumnus. So the months of March and May may be said as being the spring,
Right?
and the months of September through November, the fall.
Correct.
Ver mense Martio initium facit. I keep wanting to read the numbers at the end. Autumnus Septembri incipit. So the fall is begun with September, and the spring is begun in March.
Yep.
Unless you live in Texas. So
Eh,
and then it
Good
starts in
job.
then it
well,
starts in
now I would agree with ver amense Martio initium facit. The spring begins with March. The difference is the spring ends on March 3rd. And then we hit the summer.
yeah, pretty much.
So anyway. All right. What do we got? 4 more minutes. Okay. Well, we're not going to get all the way down, but we got pretty far into it. So any questions on what we have covered so far?
It's a lot to absorb.
It
Lots of new
is.
words.
Well, not too many new words. I mean, there's not a huge number, but they are expressing a calendar system that is quite a bit different than ours. And so that does make life a little more complicated. I did show you, let me bring it up. I think it was last time. Let me do a quick look here. When did oh, no, it was the time before last. So, wow, that would have been less than 50. Wow.
I must have missed the caption on the polar bear picture.
Oh, yeah, let's go back to that. Sorry. Deus diem lunae. That's why we talked about these. Dies lunae. Deus diem lunae creavit. Let's just do this part. Deus diem lunae creavit. Any takers? Creavit. You haven't had that word, but you should be able to.
No, we haven't.
Yeah. Creatorum. Let's see. Yeah. Creatorum caeli et terram. Caeli et terra. There we go. Terra.
So it's create.
Create. Yeah. Yeah. God created Monday. Ut hominum punire.
Unire.
I'll give you a hint. It does not mean to make puns. Think of another verb that begins with pun.
I keep thinking of puny.
No. Punish. Yes.
You're not punishing us with puns?
No,
Oh.
no. God created Mondays to punish mankind.
Okay. Cute. I was wondering why what the polar, I guess, because he's embodying the spirit of Monday.
Yes, he's embodying the spirit of Monday there. Yes.
Okay. I get it now.
Yes.
I thought he was puking over the side of the thing because he ate something.
He may be. I mean, it was a Monday, So we don't know if he's just soaking his head or maybe he's got a hangover from partying over the weekend. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be too.
Or maybe he went to an Astros game and they lost. I don't know. So. Okay, yeah, I did want to add one other thing. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. All right, let me add this to, give me just a second. Then we'll say the ending prayer. Let me share this. Okay, this I did from, and I'm going to zoom in on this. Let's see here. Whoops, no, that's not what I want. I want to zoom in on, there we go.
Oh, this is one of John Lawrence's
No, this is not.
pages, isn't? Oh, no, this,
My
yeah.
breviary. So this is from extraordinary form or Usus Antiquus Roman breviary, and you can see the days. Let's do let's do July since it is July. How about we do that? Calends, Pridie, which is the day before nones, none. There it is on the 7th. Calende, none. Idus, which is on the 15th, because July is one that has it. So, and then it counts down. Calende, sex. I'm not used to quinque, quatuor, tres. The day before nones was called pridie, which literally means the day before. Pridie. Pridie, nones. And then they count down octem, septem, sex, quinque, quatuor, tres, pridie, and then the ides. Now, the reason it's idibus is it's called the ablative of time. They express times in the ablative. So idus is the nominative form, but idibus is the ablative form, and then you go all the way down. And
So the pridie, they would say pridie idibus and pridie nones?
Yeah, they would. Yeah, they could. Yeah.
Because which pridie are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. If you had to distinguish between the two,
Okay.
pridie none, because it would be ablative. Oh, sorry, pridie nona. Sorry, ablative. So anyway, and this was used until. Now you might say, well, okay, we don't do that anymore, but actually, this is from the Liturgia Horarum, which is the current breviary. And so you don't see it in the English, but in the Latin, they still very much use this. So there it is. And
Liturgy of the Hours, right?
yeah, Liturgy of the Hours. So this is a this is a modern breviary. So it's still used. And of course, you see Julius, Junius, the Latin terms, Festum, Memoria. Oh, good. We made it to the 26th. Whoops, sorry, the 25th. So the Apostle Jacob would be Festum, and then Saint Anne is a memorial. And they also added Joachim. Joachim, I think, had his own feast, if I remember correctly. In the calendar reform, they stuck him with Saint Anne, which I guess. But he was never as big a saint as Saint Anne, as I can recall. So anyway, any other last minute questions before we conclude?
I didn't get around to doing the exercises for part 1 or part 2. Should I just do those? Or am I supposed to also do part 3?
Do part 1. Do part 1 and part 2.
Okay.
If you have time, do part 3 because we're going to finish up 2 next time and head into 3. So it depends on what your schedule has. And I'm a little bit behind on grading.
Okay.
Realized the last thing I graded was in June, I believe. So I guess I need to get caught up on that. I don't have too many, but there are some. So yes. So with that, whoops, try and complete pars secundia, and we will start in on pars tertia. Oh yeah. Whoops, I forgot to update this. No, the next class is not July 11th, which is a year away, but is August
1st.
See, what would that be? It'd be August 3rd. Is that
August
right?
1st.
Oh,
August 1st
sorry.
is
No,
Thursday.
August 1st. The calends. Calends of August. Here we go. Let's see here. Let me paste this in. There we go. And for those of you there. Whoop. There. Yeah. So there. All right. So with that, let's finish up here. Mute everybody. Oratio finalis. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen. Pater noster, qui es in celis, sanctificetur nomen tuum. Adveniat regnum tuum. Fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo et in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum da nobis hodie, et dimite nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimitimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentationem, sed libera nos a malo. And so with that, that is the official end of class.